Hi everyone, this is the third challenge. I've done 3 tips, so there's 3 different styles that you can choose from where you can do all 3. The first one here is going to be 3D. I've gone in with Hot Paprika and Grand Canyon doing an ombre. You just want to feather that bottom colour up just a little over halfway. Now coming in with Grand Canyon, and I'm just going to blend that down over the hot paprika. I'm just coming in with a few small wet beads of both of the colours just to help make it a flawless blend. I'm now coming in with crystal glass just to cap the nail to help protect the blend when we come back in to file it after. I'm using Time to Shine. I'm just going to top coat the nail, cure it for 60 seconds in the lamp. And now I'm coming in with a double dip bead of pineapple fizz and parrot feathers. As you can see, that bead's slightly dry, so I'm just tapping that bead with my brush just so that it adds a tiny bit more monomer. I'm just going to pull the bead out into the shape that I want until it starts setting to that mouldable stage. As you can see, it's starting to hold its shape, so I'm pressing into it a little bit more and pulling to create that petal shape. When you're doing your 3D work for flowers, you need to try and remember, obviously you don't want to bring it all to one centre because you obviously have to put a centre into the flower yourself, and we don't want to add more bulk than is needed. I'm now placing my second bead opposite the first petal. I will continuously do this throughout the process of building the petals up, going from one side to the other. This way you get the same amount of petals on either side, and it also allows for that first petal to dry for when you come to apply the second petal next to it. As you can see, I keep going in around those petals, making sure them sides are crisp. I find when people do 3D, they give up on the bead quite easily, and that's how you don't end up with crisp sides. So I continuously go in and push the bead back to where I want, ensuring that it's nice and crisp. As you can see with this bead, it's wanting to run under the first petal. Because that first petal is dry, you can use the tip of your brush to cut between the bead and the petal. With this petal, I feel like I've got too much product, so I just cut a bit off and push the bead back into shape. I've left this petal in, I do remove it, but I've left it in to show you that it doesn't always go to plan and how easy it is to fix a problem. So as you can see, my bead's too small and I'm pressing it out and it's creating a hole in the centre of the petal, which isn't a problem. If you're building up layers, that would have been perfectly fine to leave, but I'm not building up layers, I'm just working my way around from top to I'm just working my way around with the same technique, top to bottom, alternating where I'm placing my petals. Don't be scared either to place the bead slightly over the previous petal so that they overlap. When you do this, sometimes you might need a slightly bigger bead just to ensure that it will go over the lip of the previous petal. And just continue this process until you've filled. Once I'm happy with that, I'm now going in with a lot of monomer in my brush and picking up tiny bits of burnt sugar, I think it's called, and I'm just rubbing it in underneath those petals to create a bit of shade. I do that along all of the petals, and then I'm going to use burnt sugar again for the centre of the sunflower. This is quite big compared to most flowers, so I'm trying to over exaggerate it. I'm going to wait, put it into place, let it get to that mouldable stage, and then with the point of my brush I'm just going to be stabbing into it along the sides and into the centre to create that textured look. And that's the finished 3D sunflower. I've already prepared this tip with black magic and make it matte. I'm just panning out where I want the centre of my flower to be. I'm using Slanted Slayer, I think it is, from the Rose Gold brush collection of CJP, and their white gel paint. I'm just pressing the brush onto the nail, and as I'm pulling it down and pushing it out to help create that petal, I'm just going to work my way around the flower. Once you're happy with the petals, you can cure it in the lamp for 60 seconds. I'm just going in now with a bit of brown. I tried a few different methods. This obviously isn't going to stand out massively, and that is not the whole point of it. The whole point is when we make the petals yellow. So it's just with the light brown, and then I've dotted in a bit of white just to create a bit of texture for those centres. And now top coating and make it matte. Obviously cleanse the nail, and I'm now going in with yellow ink, which I'm sure majority of people have got. And then I'm going in with a bit of cleanse on my brush just to tidy where the ink's run down onto the black. I'm just going to go in with another second coat of the ink just to make it a bit brighter. I'm now going to top it with Time to Shine. Cure it in the lamp for 60 seconds and you're done. With this nail there's a bit more detail. I'm using LCJP gel art paints and Tiny Touches. I've mixed up a brown, a yellow with a tiny dot of red in it just to make it a bit deeper. I've also got a dark brown already previously made up, and I've also made a bit of orange. So I'm just going around with my brush creating petal shapes. Nothing special, nothing symmetrical or anything like that. It's quite almost like an impressionist style of painting. There's no really rhyme or reason to it. You can't really go wrong. You're just whacking a load of colours on really. As you can see, I'm going in with a bit of orange over them petals just to darken them up near the centres, because they would have the shadow from the centre of the sunflower. Once you're happy with it, cure it in the lamp for 60 seconds. I'm now going in with yellow straight from the pot from CJP, slightly overlapping those first petals. Again, not worrying about the shape of the petals really. I'm just putting in between. Now going in with a bit of that orange again while the gel paint is already wet, so it helps blend it. I've not cured this. Just into the centres, leaving the sides yellow so that they don't all blend into one. I've just gone over those first petals that we applied with a bit of the brown that I'm going to be using for the centre, just to darken them up, because just to create a bit of shade from the top petals. I'm just going in now with my brown just to fill that centre in. I've cured that in the lamp for 60 seconds. I'm now going in with a lighter brown just into the centre, just to lighten that centre up. And then again around the outside with another second coat of that dark brown just to darken those edges. I'm now going in with my Tiny Touches brush again with yellow straight from the pot, starting in the centre and working my way to the sides. This way the dots in the centre will be bigger and then smaller on the outside. I've mixed up a green. I'm now just doing some vines and some leaves. Again, not putting much thought into it. I'm doing some at the top, some at the bottom. Just filling in where I feel like it needs a bit of something else. And then I go in with the brown that I used for the centres. I'm just going to draw a vein into the now top coating with Time to Shine. When you put this on, you will see how everything blends together. It doesn't look as sharp once the top coat's on. So this is your third challenge, and I'm looking forward to see what you create. Thanks for watching.